She's a cool criminal, a genius the cops can't catch. She's a dope dealer with a tormented soul, looking for a new kind of love. They're natural-born killers, desperate for cash, welded together in a sex-crazed, drug-charged, wicked attraction. Portland, Oregon, 2003. Farmers near this Pacific Northwest city are known for their organic fruits and vegetables. But some locals are busy cultivating a different kind of product. And 31-year-old Lisa Joe Chamberlain is one of the best producers around.
Lisa Chamberlain enjoyed making meth and was proud of her mechanics in doing so.
She's had plenty of time to perfect her recipes. Lisa Joe starts using at age 13 and begins making meth soon after. 20 years and a laundry list of arrests later, she's the Martha Stewart of meth.
She knew exactly how to make meth several different ways because she had been with several different people that taught her.
Blame it on her upbringing. She's just 3 years old when her parents divorce. Her bipolar mother gains full custody and unleashes her wrath on the little girl. Making matters worse, when her mom's not around, a relative takes an entirely different interest in her.
Lisa Joe Chamberlain had significant early abuse and neglect. She didn't have a protective parent to step in and prevent her sexual abuse as a child.
Lisa Joe learns to do whatever it takes to survive.
Lisa Joe started going down in her teenage years. She would use drugs, she would use alcohol, abuse both. She used sex to get her way.
At 15, she's desperate to escape her abusive home and runs off to get married. A lifetime of abuse robs Lisa of the chance to develop normal coping skills.
Lisa Joe Chamberlain definitely presented as a very emotionally volatile, almost to the point of dangerous woman.
Most women who have a significant abuse history often don't develop the skills necessary to tolerate frustration. They become very impulsive.
Lisa Chamberlain had a very strong temper, and she could go to 0 and 100 in just a few seconds.
Her temper is so explosive, it nearly gets her and her husband killed.
What the hell is wrong with you? I'm already running late.
Her husband was a truck driver, and she would keep him company, but he always drove. There were times when they got into violent confrontations just through conversations.
Sometimes, Lisa Joe, you are just the stupidest woman.
You don't talk to me like that.
She would erupt, and once it has been told that she actually jerked the steering wheel and caused the truck to jackknife off the road.
Sometimes you're such an ass.
That volatility, that impulsivity in her makes her a dangerous woman, so much so that she almost killed both of them.
She could only live in the moment, abruptly and suddenly, and often that had very dramatic results.
Her wedded bliss is short-lived. 3 years later, she's back playing the field.
Hey, where are you going?
Where are you going?
Anywhere you're going, baby.
She only knows sex as a tool, not as a real form of expression of love within a relationship.
She would go with one guy and see how far she could get with that guy. Then she'd go with another guy. And she had some history of prostitution.
Along the way, Lisa Joe has a few kids. Instead of raising them, she dumps them off with relatives. With nothing to tie her down, Lisa's manhunt continues. At 23, her latest live-in boy toy treats her like his own personal hit parade.
She was going to gravitate towards partners who kept causing her harm. That's not unusual in a person with a history of trauma.
Caught in another unhappy relationship, Lisa starts believing no man can truly fulfill her. That's when she meets a handsome 29-year-old stranger from out of town. A smooth-talking petty criminal named Roger Gillett. Their attraction is immediate and intense. Roger's got his own impressive backstory. As a boy, a tragic loss sends him reeling.
Roger Gillett grew up in Kansas. His parents did divorce, and then his father died when he was around the age of 12 or 13.
Roger was there when his father passed away, and him and his dad were really close. That's when he started getting in trouble and acting out and rebelling, like most kids probably would in that situation.
He runs a series of identity theft scams, then hides in Oregon with relatives. That's Roger's MO. Get in trouble and con his family into saving him.
He had aunts who would bail him out of pretty much any of the trouble he got in.
For Roger, family loyalty goes one way: his.
No matter what I do, even if it's bad, I'm going to be able to get away with it.
He brags that he's never spent a day in jail and never will.
I went to school with Roger, and I heard right from his mouth several times how he thought he was too smart to ever get caught. He was above the law. Basically, Roger thought his didn't stink.
Looks, confidence, and danger. Lisa Joe's hooked. She ditches her current boy toy, and the hot couple hits the road. They've got a meth empire to build in Roger's hometown, Russell, Kansas. Roger plans to make a fortune selling Lisa Joe's custom recipe, a special batch of meth with ingredients from farm fertilizer. It's a perfect partnership. Lisa Joe heads up R&D. Roger handles distribution.
Lisa Chamberlain was not a person that liked to go out and distribute methamphetamine, but she loved making it. Roger, on the other hand, didn't do the tedious work, but he enjoyed being that big man in the community that you could buy your drugs from.
I believe they loved each other for the adventure. Is it going to be drugs? Is it going to be some type of crime? What can we do together? How can we get ahead together? How much money can we make together?
Their lust for kicks extends to the bedroom. Since their first encounter, they've taken the climax to new highs.
When a child has an experience of sexual abuse, they often use sexuality to engage anyone later in life. It's very likely men were attracted to Lisa Joe. She would engage in sexual behaviors that many other women might not try.
She liked Roger to choke her until she was almost ready to take her last breath.
He has a tremendous sense of sexual satisfaction from the physical power of holding her life in his hands. At the last minute, he lets go. She has an orgasm, he has an orgasm.
People have been known to die under those conditions, but I think for them, that's exactly the rise that people like them needed, even in a sexual situation, to get that excitement. They were constantly on the search for excitement.
Lisa Joe and Roger relish the euphoric highs. But when things go wrong, the vibe gets a little twisted.
There was one instance where she come to the house where she was actually scared of him. She was driving and kind of bent their hood a little bit. And she's like, he's gonna be mad, he's gonna beat the crap out of me.
Okay, you listening?
Well, from what I understand, Roger called a friend of his and actually had him listen to the phone call where he was beating Lisa.
They were both dominant personalities. those two personalities would fight with each other on who was controlling the relationship.
Need some ice on that.
Someday it'd be Roger, someday it'd be Lisa Joe.
Lisa Joe feared Roger. He could be very violent. She was afraid he would beat her up.
Despite her fears, Lisa Joe's partnership with Roger gets stronger by the day. They move in with Roger's aunt and run a meth lab out of his grandfather's barn. Business is booming until December 2003, when the cops get wind of their operation and begin monitoring them.
Russell, Kansas is a very small town. County Sheriff's Department, along with a little task force, had heard rumors that these people were making and selling meth in the area.
In February 2004, police arrest Lisa Joe at a gas station and find meth paraphernalia in her car. A search warrant is issued for Roger's aunt's home. Luckily, the meth lab is off-site. When the search uncovers a little pot, the faithful aunt steps up to take the fall, just like always.
Roger Gillett's aunt told them, all the bad stuff is mine. All the dope is mine. Everything is my fault.
Roger's aunt would bail him out of any trouble that he ever got into. I assume it's because the brother passed away and it was her only nephew that he could do no wrong. And so she was back behind him 150%.
With his aunt taking the blame, Roger and Lisa are in the clear. But after such a close call, the couple can't get down to business.
This aunt took all the responsibility, but Roger and Lisa realized, we've got to leave. It's time to move on.
Roger has no problem at all throwing a family member under the bus. This is about survival mode.
Roger and Lisa were small town problems. By them leaving town, they had solved some of our problem for us.
Roger and Lisa Joe are on the lam, but they'll be back. And when the drug-dealing duo returns to Russell, they'll have crossed a line. The line separating small-time crime from unimaginable horror. Winter 2004. To keep ahead of the law, Roger Gillett and Lisa Joe Chamberlain take their show on the road. They need a new location for their crystal meth operation. And Roger picks Hattiesburg, Mississippi, the home of his cousin Vernon Hewlett and his girlfriend Sandy Barton.
Roger Gillett views people as objects that really exist to serve his needs. So with all his smarts, with all his charisma, he's able to draw people close to him, but once he gets them there, he will use them to whatever purpose he needs them for.
Roger and Vernon used to party together in high school, so a request for an extended sleepover should be an easy sell. But now Vernon has a beautiful girlfriend and a mortgage. His raging days are in the past, so Roger tells Vernon what he wants to hear.
Roger said that he and Lisa Joe wanted to get their lives straight and start over again, and Vernon told him they could come.
Vernon's mom is suspicious of the two, right from the get-go.
Roger, as a child, was a smart aleck. When he came down here, he was like, I know everything and I can do no wrong. I just didn't really care too much about him, but he was my nephew.
Vernon and Sandy see Roger as a relative, so they simply take him in. But unfortunately for them, Roger sees Vernon and Sandy as the perfect marks.
After a few weeks of playing nice, Roger decides it's time to talk business.
I got a proposition for you.
If he and Lisa Joe can't make meth, they can't make money.
She's been making some real premium stuff. Real good.
Roger thought that they would bring them around and they would in fact become part of the drug culture and they'd all live happily ever after doing drugs and partying.
You're my family. I'll get you on the back end.
But Vernon's made a promise to his beloved Sandy. No drugs.
I can't get involved with anything like that.
Vernon did love her very much, and she loved him. Vernon had a hope of just fixing his house up and just living there and being happy. Sandy's dream was to be with Vernon. That's all she wanted to do, is be with him.
No problem with that. I respect that, cousin.
Vernon was a changed man. He had Sandy, had a home. He wasn't the guy Roger remembered growing up.
Lisa Joe's getting desperate. They can't cook meth in the house. They don't even have money to buy ingredients. Roger convinces Lisa Joe to stay patient, but keeping the peace proves difficult.
Sandy was a sweetheart, but she liked things her way, and her house was always clean.
Lisa Chamberlain was a slob. She did nothing in the house to help clean up.
Get out of the way.
She was very derogatory toward Vernon and Sandy. She called them white trash, rednecks, and that was one of the polite things that she said.
They go to the casinos on the Gulf Coast, or they go out to dinner. But after time is when Sandy starts tiring of Lisa Joe, starts tiring of Roger, because they're not working.
Work isn't in Lisa Joe's vocabulary. So how's a jittery meth entrepreneur supposed to raise quick capital? Luckily, Roger pitches in a new scam. Cold cash for a dishonest day's work.
Roger and Lisa Joe asked Vernon to stage an automobile accident with their two vehicles.
The plan: ding the car, make a claim, and get the insurance companies to pay up.
All right. So,
But instead of fixing the vehicles, they'll split the money.
that's awesome.
Vernon blesses the plan, and the couples head out to find a secluded road. There's just one problem. Vernon never tells Sandy what's going on, and she's driving their truck.
For Roger Gillett, people are simply like pawns in a chess game. You're gonna move them around the way you need to get your needs met without any care for what ends up happening to them, for the harm you're gonna bring to them.
What the hell are you doing?
It's hard to be a stunt driver when you don't know there's a stunt.
Can you drive or what? Look at what you did to my car. Look, I got damaged too. That's nothing.
Lisa Joe's car takes a beating. It's out of commission. So much for easy money.
Lisa was very upset with this, even though Lisa was the person who caused the accident.
It's not your car.
I'm gonna go call a tow truck.
And Lisa was the one that planned the accident.
Then Sandy finds out it's all a scam, and she lays down the law.
She don't want her insurance rates to go up. She wants her truck fixed. And that's what she's demanding of Vernon, to tell Roger and Lisa Joe, fix my truck. I want my truck fixed. She was a law-abiding citizen. She just wanted her life, and wanted her life with Vernon. And Roger and Lisa Joe messed that up.
The damage to Lisa Joe's car becomes kind of a flashpoint. There's no income coming in, there's tension building between the couples, and the emotions in the household begin to escalate.
They had no money to buy materials to make meth. They had no place to make meth, even if they did. They were not going to go out and work.
Now they feel frustrated, and probably the most dangerous thing you can do with people like Roger Gillett and Lisa Joe Chamberlain is frustrate them.
That's when Roger gets a wild idea. He knows there's a hidden safe, and Vernon's been saving to fix the house. There's gotta be a decent cash pile waiting for them to steal. But they can't just take Vernon's money. Sandy will call the cops for sure. Then Lisa Joe gets an idea of her own.
Lisa suggests, let's kill them, take their truck, and leave.
Each of them was willing to up the ante and escalate their behavior. When Lisa comes up with the plan to kill Vernon and Sandy and take the money, Roger quickly assesses, because he's rather smart, that there's merit to the plan, and he's not afraid to take action.
They have to move now. They're out of money, out of drugs, and dying for a fix.
Of course. Vernon.
Roger wants to know what's in the safe. Vernon shrugs his shoulders and doesn't tell him. Roger then says, I want the combination. Vernon says, you're kidding.
Roger's not kidding. Not kidding at all.
Give me the combination! Give me the combination, Vernon!
Vernon sticks to his guns, refusing to give up the numbers. So Lisa Joe raises the stakes.
I need a combination of that safe, Vernon.
Vernon Hewlett and Sandy Barton are living a horrible nightmare. Vernon's cousin Roger Gillett and his girlfriend Lisa Joe Chamberlain are demanding the combination to Vernon's safe.
They incapacitated Vernon real quick, and that's when they started torturing him. Vernon the whole time, Sandy the whole time, there's nothing there, we have nothing. You've seen all we've got, but it wasn't good enough for them.
Bad as they've been, Roger and Lisa Joe have kept some demons inside, until now.
With Gillett and Chamberlain, either one of them could change the plan at any given moment, and this could give rise to a much more violent, destructive, or volatile experience.
Roger and Lisa are impressing each other. They become something that individually they are not.
They're totally wrapped up in what they're doing. I mean, they're just feeding off each other. And it's just mushrooming into more and more injury and more torture just to get in this safe for this money.
They need Vernon to give up the combination, but how far are they willing to go to get him to talk?
And that's when they started hitting him with a hammer, started, those small cuts on his neck, small knife marks in his body, torturing him, trying to make Vernon talk about the safe.
When Vernon refuses, Roger completely loses it, and with one last swing of the hammer, he shuts Vernon up for good. As the life seeps out of Vernon, there's only one person left who can deliver the goods. It's Sandy's turn. Lisa Joe and Roger take it slow, at first.
They start removing clothes from her to embarrass her, to see if they can get her to talk even quicker.
What is a combination?
Just taking her clothes off, shaming her.
If she knew that combination, she was so frightened that she couldn't remember it. So they started doing things to her.
They choked her, they beat her, they actually broke her fingers and just poked her with a knife and stabbed her.
It then escalates to a horrifying tableau of torture. Many times in a human relationship, one is checking the other. That doesn't seem very right. Maybe you shouldn't do that. There was nobody in this relationship telling the other one to stop. The two of them simply wanted what they wanted when they wanted it, and nobody was telling them no. This went into darker and more perverse places.
Lisa Joe begins to sexually assault Sandy.
Sandy is scared for her life, but Sandy cannot remember the combination.
Frustrated and exhausted, Lisa Joe steps out for a smoke. Roger, on the other hand, is just getting started.
As he was torturing Sandy, Roger was aroused. This caused a sense of threat in Lisa, partly because of her own paranoia, and she perceived it as a sexual arousal between Sandy and Roger. She couldn't tolerate this. She had to insert herself and stop what Roger was doing with Sandy and focus his attention on her. She needed to be the sexual one to arouse Roger.
Lisa needed reinforcement that she was the best lay in the house. When she saw Roger's enjoyment, I think this unnerved Lisa. I think Lisa was worried that, well, maybe I'm not as good as he keeps telling me I am. While Vernon is still in the chair, while Sandy is still tied up like a hog, she says, I want to have sex. They get down on the floor, get naked, and have sex. And she is now convinced that she is a better sexual partner than Sandy.
It's very common for murder to be a sexualized activity. There's a sense of power and potency that is similar in sexuality and the taking of a life.
And Lisa thinks it's the best sex she ever had.
The best sex ever. This would suggest that she has a very perverse sense of reality, but also that she was very cut off from her emotions, and that it required this heightened sense of drama and violence for her to feel anything at all.
They may feel a little better, but the lethal lovers still need the combination to the safe. It's clear Sandy's not going to deliver, making her expendable.
They were a perfect storm. It was a tornado of destruction that formed from the two of them getting together.
With Vernon and Sandy dead, Roger turns his attention to the safe. Inside, he finds nothing but disappointment.
Some personal papers that belong to Sandy and to Vernon, but no money.
No money?
Vernon had the house deed and things like that in the safe. He never really had any money. He'd pay the bills, he'd buy food.
The only thing worth taking is Vernon's pistol. They grab it and bolt in Sandy's truck.
Let's steal Sandy Barton's truck. It's right outside, it runs good.
Hitting a road, Roger and Lisa Joe are still trying to figure out their next move. Then, as the killer couple comes down from their adrenaline high, a dose of reality sets in.
If somebody comes by the house, they're gonna see the bodies. And if the truck's gone and we're gone, they're gonna know it was us.
Roger and Lisa Joe said, hey, we can't leave it like this. We'll be suspects right off. So let's go back and stage this crime scene. Let's get rid of the bodies. Let's clean this thing up.
Vernon and Sandy's home resembles a slaughterhouse. But that's not what ticks off Roger and Lisa Joe. Turns out, in spite of everything, Sandy is still alive. When Roger Gillett and Lisa Joe Chamberlain came to Hattiesburg, Mississippi, Roger's cousin Vernon opened his home to them. But he won't open his safe. So they kill him. The wicked couple try killing Vernon's girlfriend Sandy too. Turns out she's tougher than she looks.
Sandy's still alive. She's on the floor, she's hurting, she can't move, but she's breathing.
It's been a long night. There's no big thrill in killing now. Just a job that needs finishing.
They just bashed her in the head with a hammer and killed her.
The hammer was swung with such force that it was actually bent.
Stepping up to call the shots, Roger tells Lisa Joe they're going back to Kansas to hide out near relatives. First, they need to deal with the bodies.
We need to remove these bodies from this house and take them with us. There's a chest freezer right there in the house. And they decide that's what they're going to use to transport Sandy and Vernon back to Kansas.
With Sandy on ice first, there's no room for Vernon.
The idea came from Lisa. Let's cut him up.
They began dismembering Vernon. It's a little more work than Roger and Lisa Joe thought it would be. Matter of fact, Lisa Joe said that Roger wasn't doing it right. So she actually told Roger to move out of the way, and she took over.
Lisa Joe steps in saying that I've taken apart deer. She's likening these human beings who have died to animals that she has hunted, taking away all sense of humanity from this entire process. And it could be here where the power balance changes. Roger Gillett very likely controlled this relationship through intimidation more than once, but in this particular situation, Lisa Joe Chamberlain gets to take back the upper hand.
Get out of my life before I start stinking more.
She starts cutting up Vernon. The things that were removed was his head and his arms. Now Vernon fits in the chest.
They still have one big problem.
We've got a trip that's going 1,000 miles, and these people could get rancid. So what do? They decide to crank up the freezer, let them freeze, and they'll be good. They'll be preserved all the way back to Kansas. But that means time.
They're waiting for the bodies to freeze because they've got to unplug this freezer and transport it all the way to Kansas. If they get stopped on the way or get pulled over, that they wouldn't smell death coming from the freezer.
That means we've got to take some time, so that we're just going to act natural from here on out.
For the next 3 days, Lisa Joe and Roger act like all is well. They tell everyone that Vernon and Sandy are in Biloxi, playing at the casino.
It was a beautiful Sunday afternoon. Roger and Lisa came to the house. They wanted to go with my other two boys, my grandkids that we were raising, to the park and ran around and had a really good time.
Roger and Lisa Joe spend a seemingly picture-perfect day with Vernon's family.
They're trying to establish an alibi, and they're frankly trying to charm his mother, showing them what nice people they are, spending time with the children, spending time with her. But ultimately, they're holding the secret of Vernon's death as they spend time with his mother. This reinforces their own sense of superiority and power.
Roger and Lisa Joe, they ate a meal at the house. They had conversation about Vernon, had conversation about Sandy. Everything's going good. I wish they would come home.
They can't be human somewhere. There's got to be something wrong there. Because that's just pure evil. And to know that I feel like I betrayed Vernon and Sandy because I fed them and I treated them like family. Because that's what he was. And to know that they had done that to my child.
So after perpetrating this murder, they're rather calmly able to go through the steps of life where most people would have completely imploded or panicked.
72 hours after the murder, the bodies are frozen solid. Vernon and Sandy get one last trip in their pickup.
They load the freezer on the truck. They get all the evidence from the house they need in garbage bags. They get their personal belongings. They leave.
Roger and Lisa Joe cruise nearly 1,000 miles to Russell, Kansas. As soon as they get to town, Roger calls up an old buddy for a little favor.
Actually meets with a friend once he gets to Russell and say, hey, I need help getting rid of a stolen truck. The friend goes, I can help you with the truck.
Roger braggingly says, I've got 2 bodies back there. They're all chopped up, and I need to get rid of them, and I need your help.
Now, this is a strange decision, right? Because now you're letting someone else know what you did.
Roger's pal agrees to help, then never shows up.
He did not want to be involved in this at all because he knew what Roger was capable of.
With nowhere else to turn, Roger pulls a card from his old deck. He uses his charm to convince another relative to bail him out. So what if Roger hasn't seen Aunt Brenda in a while? All he's asking for is a ride around town. How could she refuse family?
Roger Gillett is immensely skilled at figuring out what makes other people tick and using that information to get his needs met.
Brenda takes them to a nearby landfill to ditch several garbage bags, not knowing they're full of bloody clothes, a hammer, and Vernon and Sandy's IDs. Then, Brenda drives the couple around town to gather supplies for their new meth factory. For the lab's location, Roger leans on family again. He sets up shop back at the abandoned barn owned by his grandfather.
They went around to all their doping friends and said, we're in business again. And they began to make meth.
Roger doesn't talk about the freezer, and Brenda doesn't ask.
She's seen the freezer. She said something just told her not to even ask about it.
Brenda does know about the meth business, and Roger doesn't want her blabbing to the cops.
When someone's addicted to meth, they begin to lose any sense of rational thinking. And when the individual is high, they suspect everything around them.
One night, Roger gets to that place, and Brenda sees a new side of him.
As soon as he stuck that needle in his arm and pushed it in, the look in his eyes, it was a Roger that she had never seen before. Just the evilness in his eyes. And that's when he got the gun.
Days after murdering his cousin in Mississippi, Roger Gillett and Lisa Joe Chamberlain are holding Roger's Aunt Brenda hostage.
Tell anybody about this and I'll blow your head off, you understand?
With a gun to her head, Roger tells Brenda if she spills the beans on their new meth lab, he'll blow her brains out.
Roger! She's not gonna say anything.
Roger's already killed his cousin. So there's no question that if he felt threatened at all, that she was gonna talk, he'd shoot her in a minute.
Brenda promises not to tell the cops, and Roger lets her live.
Roger!
Be a good girl.
The killer couple's on cloud 9. They've got their meth lab back up and running. There's just one problem: how to get rid of the 2 corpses in their freezer.
The best idea came from Lisa. She suggested the hog farms.
Hogs eat bones and everything. Could just get him to a hog farm.
Yeah.
We won't have to worry about a thing. Who's gonna check a hog farm for bodies?
They've got a new disposal plan, but no time to make it happen. Brenda can't keep Roger's secret. She tells her roommate, Roger's old friend, Kathy Thacker, what's going on.
All I knew at that time was that Roger and Lisa was making meth, that he had threatened my roommate. It wasn't right.
Kathy convinces Brenda they need help. While Lisa Joe and Roger are in town, she calls the police. Before Lisa Joe and Roger can make another move, they're picked up on drug charges.
Roger Gillett, Lisa Joe Chamberlain, you're gonna have to come with us. Down on your knees.
But if they play it cool, maybe they'll avoid the murder rap.
Here. Put your hands above your head.
That night, the police and the Kansas Bureau of Investigation raid the farm. They're just looking for the meth lab. But they get the shock of their lives.
Now the whole game's changed. It's no longer a drug search warrant, now it's a homicide.
Brenda can't believe it.
And she come running in the house. She was white as a ghost. And she said they found 2 bodies out there, and I'm pretty sure it's Vernon and Sandy.
Roger clams up, but Lisa Joe sings like a canary.
She's in a survival mode, and she wants to avoid being prosecuted, so she throws everything she's got at Roger as the primary perpetrator.
Trying to get the combination out of Vernon, punching him, hitting him. He's pretty beat up.
People would like to think that if you're in love, that you would hold out a little longer. I don't think she loved anybody but herself.
Did you see Roger hitting with the hammer? How do you know that Vernon was hit with a hammer?
I was standing there, I think.
Then, Lisa Joe explains how Roger handled Sandy.
So then again, he lifted her head. And I started to help him put the bag over there. I couldn't do it. So I hand the bag and I turn around.
Hoping she can cut a deal, Lisa Joe gives up the hidden evidence. But instead of leniency, the cops throw the book at her. She and Roger are both charged with capital murder.
Roger showed no remorse. Roger was an interesting person to watch, and I'm a people watcher. He was keenly excited about being the star.
When Lisa Joe had gone up for her first hearing, she was laughing and stuff when she came in with the other inmates until she spotted us, and she started crying and carrying on.
One cellmate indicated that Lisa was proud of the fact that she and Roger were natural-born killers, and she bragged about it.
Lisa Joe Chamberlain and Roger Gillett are tried separately. Both are convicted and sentenced to death.
I got justice. We got justice.
I hope they enjoy the last injection that they're gonna get, because they deserve every bit of it.
The natural-born killers await execution in Mississippi.
There was definitely a wicked attraction between Lisa Chamberlain and Roger Gillett.
I think if he would have been with anybody else, or she would have been with anybody else, I don't think either one of them would have ever thought about doing anything like that.
I can't explain the combustion between them, but it was more than just sexual. There was something about when these two people got together, they kept stimulating each other. They kept putting each other in positions of danger, and they enjoyed every minute of it.